May I present to you the finest L lens that not much money can buy. Yep, today we're going to be looking at an L lens that I won on eBay, bids for just 220 Great British quids, and if the opportunity comes up, should you grab it or should you go for something else? Let's find out. How's it going, guys? Will here, and this is the Canon 17-40 f4L lens. I've been using it for about 5 months now, and while I was never planning to make a review on this thing, the demand for cheap full-frame lenses has most likely gone seriously up recently, and I say that because, well, all the EOSRs were sold out. The Canon 17-40L clocks in at f4, which it can maintain through its fairly impressive focal range, which is nice as always, because if not for function, it does just let you know that you've got a quality piece of glass. And I wouldn't expect to see anything else from Canon's flagship series. It has a minimum focusing distance of 28 centimeters, so you can get some nice close-up action going on. However, when we look at it in more detail, is this really an L lens? It was introduced in 2003 as a cheap full-frame lens retailing around $700, which was super cheap for an L lens. I personally bought mine because I wanted a wide-angle full-frame lens, but I didn't want to spend the extra pesos on the 17-35, which is, well, much more expensive for that extra millimeter. Granted, it is significantly faster at f2.8 versus f4, but I was willing to take that hit on the speed for the significantly smaller price tag. Oh, and it still comes with the standard L lens carrying bag, so that's nice. The build quality of this lens is absolutely worth that red ring. It's fully weather sealed, the mount and internals are metal, the exterior is plastic, which does contribute to that 470 gram weight, and I very much put this thing through its paces, whether that be on the beach, pouring rain, sub-zero temperatures, you name it, I've done it, and it survived all of it, which is awesome. The autofocus is also excellent. I've used this thing almost exclusively with the Canon 70D, but I've also tested it on some other cameras, including full frames and even a Sony with an adapter, and throughout, the autofocus has been completely solid. It features Canon's USM technology, which is a nice blend of quick and quiet, and I've been able to use this thing while shooting video without the sound of the autofocus cutting into the audio track, which is big plus. Moving on to what's probably the most important aspect of any lens, the image quality. I found that this lens doesn't do terrifically well at 17mm. There is a fair amount of distortion, the corners aren't all that sharp until you hit about f11, and you will most likely see a little bit of chromatic aberration. Zooming in, the quality does get significantly better, and I've been able to take some fairly usable shots. It doesn't do too well with intense cropping as it's not terrifically sharp, but if you get close enough and zoom in a little, then you can get some lovely looking images. But what about for video, aka 90% of what I use this lens for? As I said, the autofocus is terrifically good, and I usually do vignette my footage a little so the corner distortion at 17mm becomes less of an issue. For shooting B-roll in my tech videos, I've frequently used this lens at 40mm. It's sharp enough for me to get some nice shots, and despite only being f4, I can still get enough background separation for some really nice shots. Overall, I do quite like this lens. At full price, don't go anywhere near this thing. You can get some significantly better lenses from Sigma, but as it's getting older now, you can find this thing stupidly cheap on eBay. So if you want a fairly cheap ultra wide with pro level weather sealing, then this might just be the lens for you. Okay guys, so thank you for hanging out with me today. Remember to like the video if you want to see more content like this, and smash that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 10k by the end of July, so every single subscription is massively appreciated. I'm done for now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Rolled up in that big truck with them guns up for them fuck boys. Smoked out in that Rolls Royce, blowing dope with that bad broad. Shawty know what I got, cash, I'm throw it all if she want that. Every time you see me out, I blow trees out my blind fat, cause I'm rich. Dumping the clip on a bitch, they hold her smoking, I exit the switch. Step to the mic, I live in the misfit. She steady working it, twerk on the dick, I'm with the shit and I get it.